I'm here to make history. I want to leave a legacy that will inspire future generations of fighters. My goal is simple, to be remembered as one of the greatest to ever step foot in the Octagon. This is the story of Ian Garry, the unbeatable lion of the Octagon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the arena of champions where only the strongest survive. Tonight, we highlight the journey of a young fighter whose name strikes fear into the hearts of his opponents. Ian Garry, the unstoppable force from Ireland, known as The Future. Who's Ian Garry? Ian Garry grew up in Portmarck Dublin, where he found his love for fighting sports early on. As a kid, he started boxing, and later, when he met Conor McGregor, he got into MMA. He dropped out of college to focus on training, and at 21, he started his professional career. Garry made his debut by being tough and determined as he won the Cage Warriors Welterweight Championship and caught the attention of the UFC. So far, he's fought and won several matches, climbing up the welterweight rankings. And now, Ian Garry is known as one of the best fighters in the UFC welterweight division. He's undefeated in his professional career, with a record of 14 wins and no losses. His journey from a young kid with a dream to a champion in the world's biggest MMA organization is an inspiration to many. But how did Garry manage to remain unbeatable in UFC? Sit back and relax as we show you the full highlights of Garry's 14 notable fights so far. Cage Warriors 101. Ian Garry versus James Sheen. In his first big fight, Ian Garry went up against James Sheen on February 16, 2019 at Cage Warriors 101. Ian showed his skills in the cage and won the fight by unanimous decision. This victory marked the beginning of Ian's journey to the top of the MMA world. Cage Warriors Unplugged Two. Ian Garry versus Matteo Chlia. Next, on September 6, 2019, Ian faced Matteo Chlia at Cage Warriors Unplugged Two. It was a short but intense fight. Ian knocked out Matteo in just over a minute, showing his power and determination in the Octagon. Cage Warriors 110. Ian Garry versus Matt Figlak. In Ian Garry's third fight, which took place at Cage Warriors 110 on November 9, 2019, he faced Matt Figlak. Garry emerged victorious in this bout, securing a win via submission with a rear naked choke in the first round. Cage Warriors 115. Ian Garry versus George McManus. Moving on to his fourth fight, which occurred at Cage Warriors 115 on September 25, 2020, Garry squared off against George McManus. In this match, Garry displayed his striking skill, ultimately securing a win via KO or TKO in the second round. Cage Warriors 121. Ian Garry versus Rostam Akman. In Cage Warriors 121, Ian Garry faced Rostam Akman on March 19, 2021. This fight happened in the Cage Warriors organization before Ian moved to the UFC. Ian won this fight by KO or TKO in the second round, which means he knocked out his opponent before the fight ended. Cage Warriors 125. Ian Garry versus Jack Grant. In Cage Warriors 125, Ian Garry fought Jack Grant for the Cage Warriors Welterweight Championship on June 26, 2021. This was a championship fight, meaning the winner would become the title holder. Ian emerged victorious after 5 rounds, winning by unanimous decision. This means all 3 judges agreed that Ian was the better fighter throughout the match. Winning the championship belt was a major accomplishment for Ian, solidifying his status as one of the top fighters in Cage Warriors. 168. Ian Garry versus Jordan Williams. In November 2021, at UFC 268, Ian Garry faced Jordan Williams. It was a big fight for Garry, as he aimed to continue his winning streak. The match started with both fighters showing aggression. However, Garry quickly took control with his powerful strikes. In the first round, Garry landed a devastating blow that knocked out Williams just 1 second before the round ended. It was an impressive victory for Garry, showcasing his knockout power and skill. With this win, Garry improved his professional record to 9-0, remained a rising star in the UFC welterweight division. UFC 273. Ian Garry versus Darian Weeks. In April 2022, at UFC 273, Ian Garry took on Darian Weeks. The fight was crucial for Garry as he aimed to maintain his undefeated record. Throughout the 3 rounds, Garry displayed his versatility, combining striking with grappling to control the fight. Despite Weeks' resilience, Garry dominated the match, landing significant strikes and controlling the pace. In the end, the judges scored the fight unanimously in favor of Garry, extending his undefeated streak to 10-0. Garry's performance proved that he belonged among the elite fighters in the UFC. UFC 276, Ian Garry vs. Gabe Green. In UFC 276, where Adesanya had a clash with Cannonier, Ian Garry faced off against Gabe Green on July 2, 2022. Garry, known for his precision striking and tactical prowess, showcased his skills in a 3-round battle. Despite Green's resilience, Garry dominated the fight with his superior technique, landing precise strikes and controlling the pace of the bout. In the end, the judges awarded Garry the victory via unanimous decision, still remaining a rising star in the welterweight division. UFC 285, Ian Garry vs. Song Kenan. In UFC 285, where Jones faced Gain, Ian Garry faced off against Song Kenan on March 4, 2023. Garry, known for his explosive power and relentless aggression, entered the Octagon with determination. The fight proved to be a back-and-forth affair, with both fighters exchanging heavy blows throughout the bout. Despite facing adversity and being knocked down in the first round, Garry showcased his resilience and heart by weathering the storm and mounting a comeback. In the third round, Garry unleashed a flurry of strikes, overwhelming Kenan, and ultimately securing the victory via technical knockout at 4 minutes and 22 seconds into the round. This impressive performance further solidified Garry's undefeated record and showcased his ability to overcome adversity in the face of formidable opponents. UFC Fight Night, Ian Garry vs. Daniel Rodriguez. In May 2023 at UFC Fight Night, a fight between Rosenstruck and Almeida, Ian Garry faced Daniel Rodriguez. The fight was a thrilling clash of two talented welterweights. Garry showed his explosive striking skills early in the first round, landing powerful shots that rocked Rodriguez. Despite Rodriguez's resilience, Garry continued to press forward, eventually securing a victory by knockout in the first round. UFC 292, Ian Garry vs. Neil Magny. In August 2023, at UFC 292, where Sterling had a clash with O'Malley, Ian Garry squared off against Neil Magny. The bout was a highly anticipated matchup between two skilled welterweights. Garry demonstrated his versatility as a fighter, utilizing a combination of striking and grappling techniques to control the pace of the fight. Despite Magny's efforts to mount a fence, Garry remained composed and executed his game plan flawlessly. In the end, Garry emerged victorious with a unanimous decision victory after 3 rounds of action. UFC 298, Ian Garry vs. Jeff Neal. In Ian Garry's recent fight at UFC 298 on February 18, 2024, he faced off against Jeff Neal. The fight went on for 3 rounds, lasting a total of 15 minutes. In the end, Garry emerged victorious with a split decision, meaning that 2 of the judges scored the fight in his favor, while 1 judge scored it for his opponent, Neal. This win added another impressive victory to Garry's undefeated record, bringing his total wins to 14. With each win, Garry continues to climb the ranks of the welterweight division, leaving a trail of defeated opponents in his wake. His journey in the UFC is a testament to his talent, dedication, and unwavering resolve to achieve greatness in the sport. Which of Ian Garry's fights that you just watched is your favorite? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. Like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting fighting moments in UFC. Thanks for watching.